Hello, my name is Tomas Lagūnavičius. I am director of post-process theater. I would like to apologize for my bad English language, verbal communication skills. Today I would like to talk about directing traditional theater. I have recently released a book in English language. Is it called Directing Postmodern and Traditional Theater. You can find it in Amazon.com. We are going to start from traditional theater, directing practical part. Stage of creation its traditional theater plays. Below there are listed traditional, interpretative, commercial and other theaters and their performances development stage. In order for it to simpler to remember, I will refer to all its variation as a traditional theater. This way it will be easier to see the similarities and differences between postmodern and traditional performances. Shows what type of theatrical performance would you like to create. 1. Development state of traditional, interpretational and commercial theater plays. 1.1. The creation of directing plan. Read the plays a few times. Decide whether you want to direct it or not. 1.2. Preparatory directing work. 1. Selection of the play. Consider choosing the play according to its content and basic idea. Think about what you want to say to the audience. 2. Evaluate your actor's potential. Will the actors be able to perform in this play? 3. Is the play relevant and interesting to the theater managers, audience, and will it help the actors to grow professionally? 4. Evaluate whether the viewer will be able to figure out the main idea of the composition. 5. Accurately define the main author's ideas. The way think why the authors wrote these plays, what he wanted to see, against whom is he fighting, what is his ethical and philosophical position. 6. After establishing the basic ideas of the play, consider that key topic of your is primary and which will be secondary. 7. Think about how secondary topic will highlighting the primary theme. 8. After establishing the basic theme of the play, describe the development of play's plot line, continuous act. 9. Divide text into pieces. Think kind of fragmentation into pieces necessary in order to identify logical sense and to eject, place action development line. Finalizing any more or less important stage of the events helps to fully show an action episode and define each piece's limit. For example, A. Collusion, B. Duel, C. Discussion and new action plan preparation, D. Transaction, E. Victory pursuit. In order to preserve the coherence of the action development, it is required to define imported essential pieces of place events. Evaluate the primary and secondary rules in the comparative weight in the play. How important each character is. Each character's contribution is to evaluate according to its influence in the action development. 11. Describe the characters in detail. Complete place text analysis. Depict all hero characters. For example, what is said about A. the characters himself, B. others characters. 12. Describe the internal characteristic of the character according to A. his deeds, B. his conduct line, C. the author's remarks, D. character's description, E. actor's understanding about the characters, F. the director's imagination and perceptions about the characters. Do not think abstractly. Better yet, follow the text and the actor's capabilities in the play. Good future rules, description, and analysis will help you to easily choose the actors who could play it. 13. Describe the roles. Consider actors. A. External parameters. B. Internal parameters. C. Individual characteristic. D. Tendencies. E. Creativity, potential, and talents. In some cases, smaller in volume, but more important according to criteria, rules intended for more gifted actors. Instead of a large rule, in terms of volume. 14. Consider how dedicated actors will embody these characters on stage. 15. When selecting actors, consider not only the compatibility of actors with an individual role, but also the relation between the actors who will be on stage. Imagine how they will work together on stage. If you think that they might have difficulties working together, change them into others. This phase should be completed with the preparation of analysis in the directorial play. 2. The preparation of directorial plays analysis. Before meeting with the creative group of a play, director has to finish directing the analysis of chosen literature production. Please select your favorite play, perform the directorial analysis. It should consist of the following components. First impression of and feelings. Write in 1-2 sentences what has your impressions after reading the play. 2. Production relevance. Argument why is it important to build this play? What new and interesting will the viewers learn? How will this affect their feelings, thoughts? What does this play convey? Why is it important for the theater to build it? 3. Information about the authors and his creative biography. Try to answer what events in life encourage the authors to write these plays. Try to collect as many autobiographical knowledge of the author's creative history as possible. Find key trends in this work, aesthetical and philosophical values. 4. Description of historical circumstances in a play. Describe the historical circumstances that determine play's creation. What has happened in the time in their world? What events took place in the country, in the city where the authors lived? 5. Production plays theme. Write briefly in 1 sentence what is the production about. 6. The main concept. Describe briefly in 1 sentence what kind of idea the authors brings up and defends in this piece. 7. Director's main task about objective. What the director wants to achieve, to convey, to portray while building of performances based on the play. 8. Literature genre. Describe whether it's a comedy or drama or tragedy and so on. 9. Continuous action and plot of a play. Continuous action of a play is the main motive that promotion characters work. Describe the main character's motive. In fabula, describe the play's main storyline depicting the sequence of events. 10. The chain of events. Describe how events in the play changing in the character's action, thoughts and feelings. 11. The main event and conflict. In 1 sentence, describe what the unresolved inner conflict in and how doesn't it affect actors in the play. 12. establishment of actors and characters' aspiration. Describe all the actors, characters, and aspirational goals that appear in the play. What and how the characters are trying to achieve. Hurting actors or characters characteristic. Describe in details the external and internal characteristic of each actors and characters. 14. Continuous identification of actors' action. Describe the action of actors in the play, the aspiration and task in every single pieces of play. 15. Atmosphere. Describe what the general atmosphere of a play and each view is. 16. Initial mise-en-scène option. Draft the main mise-en-scènes at least then in the initial stage that will be used in the future play. If it won't not be enough mise-en-scène, they prepare some extra. 17. Figuration of musical sound. Make notice on way and what plays, what music and what sounds will be, what roles they will play. 18. Acting areas, stages, lighting partiture. Write down what kind of lighting will be on every painting and mise-en-scène. 19. Scenography, design, layout, drawings. Together with the scenographer, prepare the set design, layout, and future decoration drawings. Coincide how they will change in the course in the play. Determine how each picture will look like on stage. 20. Props. Design what props in items will you see on stage, what role they will play. Predict what kind of props of action partitures you will need. 21. Costume sketches and examples. Immediately establish which costumes will be on stage and most importantly how must function they will be. It is the best of the have examples. 22. Cast. Write down that actors why and which roles will they be performing. 23. The features and stage performances movement. They to predict the style of stage movement, what will be like, for example, pantomime, acrobatic, and so on. 24. The dance style. If there will be dance element white line, in which style they will be carried out, domestic, modern, contemporary, and so on. Predict in advance in the what picture and play they will be performed. 25. Acting school. Design what kind of acting school will form the basic youth play. For example, comedial art of Konstantin Stanislavski and etc. Others. After performing the initial analysis of directing and doing the first rehearsal will be an appropriate and perfect time to meet with actors and other members of the creation group. 3. The first meeting with the creative group on the play. Before the first meeting, the following action must be performed. 1. Answer B question. How are you going to organize the first meeting? In what place will be held? At what time? So on. 2. Consider how you are going to decoration the place of the first meeting. 3. Have it yourself full directorial analysis. Prepare print the material that you want share with the others members of the creative team. 4. Create a ritual of the first meeting. Create an atmosphere of the holiness during the first rehearsal. It is desirable settle a similar feeling as though you are in church or temple. You can even create improvised altar. There should be author's photograph, books, quotes, flowers, and so on. The atmosphere of holiness should be maintained during the time of all the rehearsal. It helps to concentrate the entire creative team and look on the job responsibly. B. Create a rehearsal plan. Many important practical questions can arise here. For example, where and when will the rehearsal be held? What is the most convenient time for most participants? What are the opportunities the rehearsal individual scenes and episodes? All of this is very important. Very often the play gets discontinued only because in the time of rehearsal discipline was not thought through. 4. Assignments in the table. 1. In the beginning of the starting to do the segments of the table, introduce an extended or shortened analysis of directorial work. This is a very important moment. Participants must be fully concentrated, no cell phones, walking, and so on. 2. Reading by the actor the play neutrally. Actors should not perform as all the characters. The place and space for interpretation for others actors must remain. 3. Require that during the first reading of the play an actors would convey the basic idea of the work, the idea of the storyline. It is important that the members of creative team would understand the logics of the action development on main character's aspiration. 4. As the actors were listening to the text, to start and create in the imagination original images of the characters, all the details of the play and how the imagines the play itself. 5. Discussion about the play. Find a common approach to the play. Director reads a version of expanded of narrowed down piece of directorial analysis, and the actors together in the creative group may listen to the director and ask him question. 2. Decide how much you are willing to change the initial version in directorial analysis. Before presenting the play, think through if you want to reveal all ideas of performances. I would recommend to read the beginning of a short but not extended version of directorial analysis. So after the discussion, you would have the change to correct it. 3. Your main goal is to demonstrate the readiness of performances, to encourage creative activity of group members, and to develop a common approach to the play. Final conclusions are written down and imported, considering not only actors' vision and desires, but also what was previously agreed with the theatre administration, stage designer, composer, and other interested parties. 4. During the discussion, be the first to briefly speak up, in order maximally exercise the imagination of the creative team members. After that, other creative team should tell their touch, finish the discussion of the debate, and summarize everything that was said. 5. Seek the support from the majority of the creative group members for improved analysis your production. After making the final decision, enforce the discussion about specific suggestion of image and mise-en-scènes apprehension during the play. The proposals can be discussed during the rehearsals without the change in the decisions of basic directorial analysis. It is important that rehearsal will not become a discussion club and a house. 6. Prepare the work rules and procedures and introduce them in creative group members. Be strict, relentless, precise, and sometimes listed to actors. Pay attention on their needs and encourage them to develop and create, but always keep them under control. Do not always want to lead the production on the play. If the play will succeed, everyone will see that actor perform very well. But if it will be unsuccessful, that everyone will think that director worked poorly. Do not forget that the director is always responsible for everything, and therefore, if you are responsible, then you are in charge. 6. Text analysis. 1. Text analysis is one of the most important steps in the process of traditional theater performances creation. Analysis the text is advanced. Text analysis can begin with one version. Select 1. A. Beforehand analysis and outline each rules in interpretation, objectives, key events, and so on. B. Allow the actors to read and submit the initial interpretation. After the discussion, seek for mutually acceptable solution. 2. Require from the actors to read the play beforehand. And the actors are not familiar with the play that you're talking about, characterization, event, and the sequence may not give him any impression because the actors do not know the context. Only reading the play and analyze events and their causes will help the actors to understand their characters better. to formulate the perception of the play, to explain the actor's behavior. 3. Analyze the text while actors read the roles. If necessary, modify the text. Some things can be shortened, added, or changed. As the corrections have been made to should be specified whether everything lands equal. 4. Start the analysis of the revised text. Analyze individual phrases in details. It is important to discuss the sequence of events, prehistorical, rudimentary, comparative events, the most important events of each characters, and so on. 5. Pay particular attention on the monologues and dialogues. During the reading of text, they reflect on the main pictures and events aspects. Ask yourself an actor's question: what, where, when, how, and why it is so on and not different. What is the cause of action? 6. Do not create templates and final rules interpretation during the first rehearsal. Actors while reading his role must try to speak naturally and should search for logical action, bonds, communication reasons. The better actor realizes what a character says from a particular scene. The each easier for him to adapt and stimulate the sense instead of rehearsal them. 7. Enforce the actor's interest on only intro the text of his role, but also encourage listening on others. During the first reading, motivation everyone to listen to others' text and try to understand the needs of characters. If the understanding will not appear, there will be not an alliance of the stage or not real response to implementation of mise-en-scène. Do not submerge into your imagination, memories, and try to hear the text again. Each determine your character's objective and try to reveal the pictures of the scene content. 9. Tell the actors to avoid generalization, to evaluate specifically what each character says. Most importantly, keep us context with them, writers and realize them objective will influence your adoption and in some cases event aspiration. 10. Look for the connection between the various elements in the play, the stage, the picture, monologue, dialogue, and so on. 11. Encourage the actors to find connection between the characters' continuous action, the main target, objective, and specific atmospheric pieces. 12. Perform a logical text analysis. Find connection between the various phrases, monologues, quotes, and scenes. Find the main accents, the influence changes in various scenes. 15. Start the analysis of the play's text from the most important things. Upon the actor's creative imagination of what is the most important, essential. Teach them to think and act in big pieces of the role. 7. Subtext search. 1. Disclose the rule of overtones. by unconverting gently and careful what hides behind the text line words of the rules. Things of both on actors' behavior and analysis of the relation with the circumstances and other place characters analysis. Often for the actors it is enjoy to properly define characters' objective and they can correctly interpretation the characters' circumstantial relationship. This is how be resolves a piece of the episodes in a role. In the traditional theater, the author seeks for more implication than creation. 2. Create together the actors' visual displays of their roles. Image resulting of the screen help to create not only temperamental and emotional role, but also make the role naturally alive immediate. In few clear example, invoke actors' imagination, access sites, accessories, accuracy from which the text appears. 3. Require from the actor sequential image on how the place where the action is look like, what others people are around, what do they do, how do they look like, how do they perform simple and complex tasks, and so on. Each mise-en-scène must be viewed as if it is real. At first, actors are showed narrative everything, depicting all parts and details. 4. Require from the actors to perform action only after analyzing the text and converting into vision. Initially, it is difficult to harmonize vision with action. Working this way, which the text after some time becoming naturally. Later, reality will progress into action. When the actor works in a fiction's circumstances, his real picture view after some time moves from image to reality. 5. Encourage actors to remember realistic images of their life and are forced to image working in them. This provides a greater sense of reality. If an actor has not been in a like circumstances and did not perform similar action, then from his own real-life expression, an actor should find parallels and convey them into the circumstances. 6. On paper and on board draft the main mise-en-scènes, scenography, layouts, and trances exist of the play, so it would be easier for creative group members to visualize how performance will look like on the stage. 7. Insist while sitting around the table that the actors would not naturally convey the characters' thought and desires, and not just words into their roles. The actor text should become as if a few one. They have to realize events again at certain times of the play and combine real-life experience with the text on the play. In real life, it happens not naturally, but while rehearsing the play, imagination and memories help to develop it. 8. Enforce the actors to write to autobiography and the characters. From birth they'll suppose that. Explain to the actors that character's lifespan in the films is only a small part of character's biography. By recognizing the backgrounds, we can try to understand the character's behavior and his motive in any given situation. 9. Following the play's rules and directing analysis. Determine the main character's life events. Actions and the mind have changed this behavior from the beginning of a play till the end. The more careful and specific an actor studies a role, the clearer it becomes a sequence of character behaviors. The clearer are characters' real intentions of the actors, the better chances they has the correctly and basically reveal the designed role from one assignment implementation till the other through success and failures in a small step. You must together with the actors reveal the character's life. 10. Oblige the actors to learn the text by heart, by conscientiously analyze the role. This way the text is gradually transferred from conscientiousness in the substantions. As a result, this kind of transferring creates a natural character's experience. If this does not happen, the actors becomes only text reader of a play. They create a clearer and more details perform imagines the characters. The rich and border is his actualization of the stage. 11. Encourage the actors to deepen the knowledge about the characters. Recommend appropriate literature, illustration, video, audio material. Ask the actors to prepare himself independently and to bring new attitudes and new information about characters to every rehearsal. 12. Read the whole play, scene after scene, picture after picture. Analyze the objective and action on the stage. Most importantly, write down all the ideas that appear in your mind. Do not missing any, even the strange one, honest. This can be an impulse from creative process. 8. Rehearsal of stage. 1. Allow the actors from time to time resile from reading the play in order to test practically and gestures, movement and set position on the stage, to create mise-en-scènes, etudes, and so on. 2. The actor has to turn it in with the characters and should be able to reveal his intention and deeds in a stage action. In this rehearsal stage, actors should be able to act purely from himself. When you have started to analyze a new scenes of the play, disclose the essence of the scene, define characters' goals, objectives and circumstances in such a way that actors could imagine themselves in the circumstances. Ask them what they will do, and most importantly, how they will do it. 3. Implement and convey action in the scene. The text has to become an action. Let the actors perform the scene as if it was about them, as if they feel in the same situation. 4. During the stage rehearsal, make sure the actors would not feel tension, precising requirements, apathy, and so on. Enable naturally rehearsing of the stage. Make sure that the actors are simple without unnaturally gestions or posture. Performed action need to be realistic. 5. Actors should perform their role action with the stage as precise as possible. Analyze the internal and external characteristics of the characters. Look for the exceptional and unique adaptation. 6. Observe if the actors does not have an internal conflict due to the inner characteristic. In mid-happiness of that characters of the play is guided there by the exclusive values, and the actors embodies himself in different kind of values. Help the actors to incarnate himself the character's skin. Make sure the actors will feel the characters, understand his inner logic, and find out what encourage him to do so. 7. Teach the actors to communicate and work on the stage together. For example, two actors exchange themselves with stage catch words and carries out impulse, action acceptance, text evaluation and responsive impulse action in function. Initially, the stage partners must express their natural synergy throughout some scene. The actor must pay particular attention to partner's text. 9. Encourage the actors to stop being in standby mode, to discontinue inner action while waiting for a pending partner phrase. Action has to be continuous regardless of whether the action is outside or inside the text. Particular actor's attention should be directed to the partner's text. This should be happening every time while rehearsal. 9. Educate actors' ability to see and hear each other. In order to develop the skills suggest from the actors' psychophysical training exercises. It is recommended to do this in the beginning of the rehearsal. 10. Insist that the actors on the stage would not only listen to the lines of the partner, but also would try to understand his desires, aspiration, implication, and so on. It's so important for an actors to feel the differences between partners' inner intention. The actor must always be here and now. 11. Require from actors to additionally and individually rehearse separate parts of a play. Present obtained rehearsal results to director. 12. Allow the actors to change their roles. They would understand the intention of roles better. 13. Properly evaluate and explain to each actor how successful his acting is. Do not use adjective. Do not criticize and judge. Tell him what and how to do. Use many verbs, nouns, numerals, and location circumstances of possible. For example, the color of action and objective the actor has to understanding by himself. 14. Request from the actors to create variants of etudes. For example, yesterday the character's day. Next, the hour until the entrance to the first scene. His future life and the end of the performance, and others. 15. Remember the toughest time of the rehearsal, the transition on the play from the work table to rehearsal stage. There may be a lot of discussion, but for the actors it is difficult to transfer the scene from lines on paper into real action. Do not force it. Allow it to settle in. The results will manifest later. Use a small etude methodology, so the actor will find some interesting adaptation in the warrior stage. 16. Make sure the actors will create performance etude in the desired theme. This part of the experience he has acquired, he will be able to implement on the stage. 17. Recommend the actors to create etudes in a way that they will be able to see what they are narrative. Ask the leading question about the here, what is doing on, what they see around, how it feels seeing the and so on. This will stimulate their fantasy and imagination. Allow them to find to answer themselves. It is important to stimulate of performance creative imagination, or let it to operate independently. 19. Make sure the actors apply the guided working them the etudes experience while rehearsal on the stage. Only in this case etudes are useful. 19. Recommend to exercise the etudes 15-20 minutes before the play's rehearsal. This way it will be easier to adapt the experience. 20. The director, not the actors, is responsible of the mise-en-scène. So get ready for the answer before the rehearsal. He is one of the major director's inputs into the performance. Mise-en-scène must be natural in the unnatural. They should be disregarded. 21. Combine scenography, decoration, props, themes and actors' action into the mise-en-scène. If you are lucky, a sense really will appear on the stage. 22. Insist from the actors to perform the mise-en-scène accessorily. To be 100% dedicated to the work and use the theme keeping. Control actors' action on stage. Mise-en-scène, precision, clarity, detail, fiction. Always the actors not to see and answer for the question, what are you doing now? Therefore can focus on one continued action, inner dialogues and so on. 23. Integrate dance, movement, music, singing, etudes in the play's action, if of course they exist, though this is an advice. 24. Enforce the actors to work a lot of that little known object on the stage. 9. Final place rehearsal stage. 1. During the final rehearsal stage, put yourself in the viewer's position and evaluate the correct integration of the elements into the play. 2. Require for maximum resolution in the mise-en-scène and change in as many times as needed. 3. Selection a most successful mise-en-scène actors' adaptation of others, this time to improvise and record. It's not time to improvise and record. 4. Recommend everything that is unsuccessful for mise-en-scène, except for highlightness, repetition, extension, emotional and others. 5. Seek from acting style, equality, eliminate the trees to be on ensemblical. 6. Pay more attention to the details. Repair 1,000 times if necessary. Especially mise-en-scène with props on stage items. This shapes better acting skills. It will not disturb the adaptation of the role. Also check the quality on scenographer's work. During the premiere there would not be any mishappenings like something broken, going haywire, or falling. 7. Devote a substantial amount of time for separate rules in each mise-en-scène rehearsal. 9. Before the general rehearsal, perform as many technical and final rehearsals as you possibly can. 9. For the last 10 times, rehearsal with make up, costumes, musical figuration, light, preparatory, and so on. 10. Perform a last few general rehearsal. 11. Compliment creative group members from an excellent job they have done during rehearsal. Specify what needs to be improved. Give rational and purposeful introduction. After that, once again sincerely compliment each creative group members. Do not lie. Be honest. 12. Fill in the table. Okay. 12. Evaluate your work. Think about how you do very well, what you called repair new. No matter what kind of play you are directing, White Light is a post-modern, commercial, interpretative of kind of play. It is important to use professional. Hopefully this will be another instrument in your professional life that will help creating and directing apply or performances. Good luck!